Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend. It's actually still Easter weekend. I hope you were crafting if you weren't doing something special with your family. So today we're going to go on where we left off on Thursday last week. On Thursday we did, hi Marlene, on Thursday last week we did the silk papers and how to actually cut them out and how to apply them. So just a small recap for those that weren't here. You use the normal silk papers. Sorry Mom. This is a silk paper. You can either cut it or feather it with water. And then you just apply your sealant. We use Petite Rouge Lacquer. Hi Sarita. So that's what we've used. And we've actually put it onto the suitcase. I've used the feathering technique there. And this side, Mama's just cut them straight and applied them on a box. So, what's it doing? So we're going to continue where we left off. My silk papers are on, they've been sealed on. I've actually been working quite a bit on this. This is how they look so far. And what I've done to my suitcase in the meantime is I've actually, my son has helped me put on some feet for my suitcase. And I've actually started striping it. So I want to show you, hi Brenda, how to do your stripes. Mom, are you waiting for me for something?
No.
Are you going to
start?
Glue and go?
Yes.
Alright, so I've done the front part of the suitcase so that I can show you what I mean. So this is how it's going to look like. And what I want to tell you is if you are planning to do a stripe project, that you add between 30 minutes to 1 hour to your time. Especially if you're going to be presenting workshops. Remember, striping out with masking tape takes time. Hi Anita. So remember, if you are going to stripe something, that you add that into your time. Now I want to show you a trick that I've been using that's been working very well for me. It's always a bit difficult getting the perfect stripe. If you, hi Irina, if you pull off your masking tape, it's like a wiggly line. So I have done this to try and sort that out. As you can see, I'm going to show you my suitcase again. The lines are quite straight. You can zoom into them as well. Hi Michelle. Hi Marie. Alright, so the lines are quite straight. I want to show you my trick. Just bear in mind we're painting on cardboard. This is a cardboard suitcase. So it's not like a leather suitcase or a plastic suitcase. So bear that in mind when you are doing your stripes as well, that there might be some pull away because it's cardboard. Which side's the best? So let me show you this side. The green is absent from Petite Rouge. It's a nice olivey green. And the blue I'm using is my favorite Midnight in Paris, which I've been using quite a long time. So what I've done is I've sticked out my suitcase with a broad masking tape and a thinner masking tape. I just wanted to take the thinner one and make the blue line the thinner one. So what I'm going to do now is something's falling off. I'm going to take off the thinner piece because that's where I actually want to paint my Midnight in Paris. Remember, I'm painting on a cardboard box. So it's not like a plastic suitcase or a leather suitcase.
I'm just putting mine out to dry before I can do the last piece.
Just remember what I said is if you're planning to stripe something in a workshop or for yourself, add about an hour to an hour and a half to your time, because masking it out actually does take a lot of time. Alright, so that should be okay there. Now,
Okay, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to paint your bunny.
that would be lovely. Thank you for painting my bunny. We've got a ceramic bunny. Well, it's not a ceramic, it's concrete, eh? I better come around like this. So this week's challenge is going to be bathroom. Hi Stella. It's only a pleasure. This is a concrete bunny. It's going into my bathroom. So this week's challenge is the bathroom challenge. Okay, back to the suitcase. Now, I want to make sure that my stripes are solid, that it's not those wiggly lines. Anita has posted a link for you to make your own air drying clay. She has used it and it has worked perfect. I'll post photos now if she hasn't already. I've just used this Dala terracotta clay on the edges of my suitcase. So if you want to make your own air drying clay, try that recipe, it does work. The one Anita has just posted. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I do my striping, the lines are straight. You don't get that little wiggly lines. So I've taken the broad part that's going to stay onto my suitcase, and I'm just going along the edges, making sure that it seals properly. So just making sure that your masking tape is over properly.
We don't want the inside painted, eh? In there,
No.
that little.
Alright, so that I've now done. Now what I'm going to be using is my background color. This is the Absinthe from Petite Rouge. And I'm taking a fine brush like so. And all I'm going to do is I'm loading some paint onto my lid. And everywhere where my masking tape touches the green, I'm going to go over and just do a little line like this. This is going to help you get that straight line you're looking for in your next color. So I'm going around on all the edges of the masking tape using my background color. So the moment you do this technique, add another 30 minutes to your time. If you're not doing this technique, between an hour to 30 minutes, an hour and a half, just to stripe out your item. Obviously, if it's something small, it won't take so long. But like laundry bins, add an hour, hour and a half to your time. So I'm just painting the edges where my masking tape is touching the green background. And this is going to help me get that nice straight line that I'm looking for. How was your weekend? What have you been doing? Thanks, Anita. Sippy has been picking up Easter eggs. Him and the dog. Now bear in mind my suitcase is made of cardboard, so you might get some pull away from the cardboard and then you'll just go in and touch up again. But this technique actually works well if you want to create straight lines. Now this must dry before you can continue with your next color. So I'm just going to go on to the back of the suitcase and continue there, or the other side. Let's do the other side. Which color are you using, Mom? Parchment.
Parchment.
Okay, Mom's just painting the bunny plain parchment. Right, once again, I'm taking off the pieces that I intend painting with the darker color. We just attached normal feet to the bottom. Hi Enrica, hi Elsa. So I make sure that this piece of masking tape is solid against the background.
As Enrica nog nie oor sê nie.
Dis nie daai Elrica.
Is dit nou al weg?
Yeah. Making sure that my edges of my masking tape are flat against my background. This is an important part, otherwise the paint seeps into your masking tape. Remember, if you are presenting workshops of stripes, add between 30 minutes to 1 hour. No, I just want to order some pictures. Alright, so I had a bit of a boo-boo here. Let's stick to that. Alright, let's work it as it is. So make sure that your lines are nicely flat against your surface. Then taking the background color and a flat brush, not too much paint, I go over the edge lines of that masking tape. This is going to help you get a nice straight line when you are doing your darker color. So I just go over the edge.
I think one coat is enough
with
here.
my background. Yeah, I think so too. Mom's painting a cement bunny with parchment from Petite Rouge. I'm painting with absinthe from Petite Rouge.
And because I'm painting it, it's going to my bathroom.
No, it's going into my So this week's challenge is bathroom. So if you want to partake, take something in your bathroom that you want to remake or revamp. Take nice photos after you've done the revamp and post it on our page. That is just to share creativity amongst everyone. So yeah, you're welcome to participate in that.
Like Anita's lovely laundry bins.
And Anita did the most gorgeous frame using that air drying clay recipe that she's posted on Nana. So we know it works. So you guys are welcome to try that.
If you posted it?
No, Anita said she'll post it. So here we go. So I'm painting the edges where my masking tape and my background gets together. And I'm letting this dry thoroughly before I move on.
Can I put this brush in there?
Yes. Now for, unfortunately, this little suitcase. Like this.
I'm not going to carry it out just yet, otherwise
Just like
it would make a finger mark.
So this little suitcase had better days. So you'll see that the spacing in front and the spacing at the back is quite different from each other.
Are you still going to use this paint?
No. Again. So you'll see there's a little bit more space. So what I'm showing is that you can actually get your lines on striping quite straight. So I've taped out on all these pieces with the thinner masking tape I'm taking off. Remember, I'm painting on like a cardboard box suitcase, so there might be some rip-off. And now what I'm going to do is, after I remove these pieces, I'm going to make sure that the bigger pieces are secured. This is quite difficult to get to. So now I've got the broader piece of the masking tape. I want to make sure that the edges are tightly secured to my background, so that there's no holes, so the color can't seep through. So I'm just securing it to my suitcase. And then, oh, there might be a bit of a bubble. Let's just see. I'm just making it straight there. There you go. So that there can't be any paint coming in on the sides. Now I'm going to use my background color, which is absinthe from Petite Rouge. I'm using a flat brush and I'm going along the edges of the masking tape with the background color. Are you back on your silk papers?
Yes.
For those that didn't join us last week, we used the Velvet Attic and Petite Rouge silk papers to put on our items. Mom did a nice box. Do you want to show them what you're doing? Because you're hiding behind the bunny now.
The bunny is red. I've done this front part last week. I've done this side now and that side, and I'm busy with that side.
There is some hairs on your bunny. Right there. Okay. So I'm going along the sides of my masking tape with my background color. Remember, I've said this before, if you are planning workshops and you're going to be doing striping, any striping, add between half an hour to an hour to your class time, because it does take a lot of time striping out your items. If you are planning to do the straight lines like I'm showing you now, thank you Anita, then you need to add another half an hour to your time because it needs to dry before you go in with your next color. So I'm just painting the edges of my masking tape with my background color, flat brush. This is going to help me get a straight line when I'm actually doing my striping. You know how sometimes when you start out with a project it turns out something totally different to what you thought of. So I first thought I'm going to do this suitcase just for an ornament. And then I realized that my coffee tables are in a tremendous state. So this is now going to be one of our coffee tables. So I want to show you the front piece now. Oh, excuse me. So we know that the striping works this way. You can zoom in and actually see the lines are quite straight. So this is the technique I'm showing you now. So, see here, I need this to dry now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be drying it with the heat gun, just so that I can show you what happens once you put your darker color on. So if you hear a bit of a buzz in the background, it's the heat gun. Alright, there we go. Please. Did you take the bunny out, Ma?
Yes.
Well done. Strong woman. So once you've done the background next to your masking tape, you can close your tin. And then you should be ready for your next color. This is the silk paper. If we cut it out, it looks like this, which Mom has used on her box.
What are we doing now?
Now, I'm thinking of maybe doing a box.
I've just put it out. I've just sealed it. Yes. It's still wet. And also the bunny.
We should be done now on one of those sides of the suitcase. Is it almost dry? Okay, at least I've got one side. We can go on at once. So what I've done is I've added some air drying clay on the edges. Hoping you guys can see. It is now drying still. And we've just dried this side.
And it takes a little while because it's not all that warm now.
Yeah, it's not too hot today. So once again, I'm going to clean the brush that I did the fine lines on the masking tape with. This is just a normal flat brush. And I'm now going to start using my darker color. I'm using Petite Rouge Midnight in Paris. It's a dark blue color. And I'm using the French tip brush as well. So just dipping and then just painting into the areas where I want my stripes. And then the moment I get to the edge here, I use my fine brush like that. So there you have your first stripe. It's going to look better once we start pulling off the masking tape.
Must you not pull it off now?
No, just once
After
we're
the
done,
second.
yes. And it needs to dry as well.
Oh yes.
So just doing the darker color now. I've covered the edges of this masking tape with the background color, which is the absinthe green. And I'm now painting in the darker color of my stripes. We do need to dry this before we start taking off the masking tape. This is just a better way to get it in a nice straight line. I might be going over there. It's very difficult to see from here. This is the Midnight in Paris. The feet are also done with Midnight in Paris. More the next thing we're going to be doing on the silk paper is working with the lacquers. And there's a antique one on my study room table that I didn't bring.
You don't want this age.
No, I want the brownish one. Alright, so this is what we've got then. I haven't done this one side yet. Okay, this is now the darker color, and I need to let this dry before I take off my masking tape. Unfortunately with these suitcases, they're not very square, especially if they're old, so some spaces might be bigger than others because it doesn't work out exactly perfectly. Alright, so I'm going to ask you just to seal this, dry this for me quickly, and then I can continue taking off the tape. Or must I continue painting? Let's paint. Okay. So, oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Here we go again. I'm just painting in between the lines. You see, this is the portion where I told you it's actually quite, the holes are broader than the front ones because the suitcase is not exactly square anymore. This is a cardboard suitcase that I'm using. It's not a leather or a plastic suitcase. It used to be orange last week. I'm filling in the small spaces with a flat brush, and the color I'm using is Midnight in Paris from Petite Rouge. And what I've done is I've actually painted some of the base coat on the edges of the masking tape, which is going to help us give us a nice straight line when we pull the masking tape off. So just remember, I've said this before, if you are planning a workshop doing stripes, add between 30 minutes to an hour to your time, because it is time extensive. So And if you are doing the edges like I've done, add another 30 minutes. Yes, Judy, there is a certain one that I like using on the masking tape. I prefer using the yellow one. The yellow masking tapes tend to work better than the white one. Those are your two options.
And
So,
Ika normally has in stock.
yeah. So all you want to make sure is that you've got that edge of your masking tape in. Is your box not dry yet?
No.
Okay.
It's a bit cloudy outside it, and that bunny, of course,
Yeah.
the cement is taking a while.
So I'm just using a flat brush here. Just going into the edges. Ooh, I did a bad job there. You need your glasses for this one. Alright, so I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just filling in my darker color now on my masking tape. I've taped my box off and I've gone along the edge with my masking tape using my background color. Wait, I'll show you quick. So you'll still see on this one, there's like light green over the masking tape. I've gone over that. Thank you, Maureen. And that's where I started painting my background. So I've gone over the masking tape edge with my light green color, the background color. I made sure that it was dry before I added the darker color.
The box is dry, and we're not going to do anything else, are we?
Well, we need to still do the antiquing on it,
Okay.
the glaze. But I'll show you now. I'm going to hand this over to see if it to dry for us, and then maybe we can take off some tape and see how it comes out. I hope I've caught it everywhere.
Will it not dry outside in a little bit of wind? There is.
The heat gun is actually quicker. So we use a heat gun, that's the noise you're going to be hearing, just to dry the paint, just to make it quicker so that I can show you. Thank you.
You've not done the side.
Yes, I know this side I haven't done, but then I can at least show you what to do there. Alright, let's just move this out of the way. So remember I spoke when I think this is the 13th tutorial session we're doing. So I think in the first one or two we did, I spoke about the Petite Rouge glazes that we have. And this is the antique color. It's a browny color, a lighter brown like a pine. And this is the H-Tau, which is a dark brown. So today we're going to be using the antique. I'm just going to show you, I don't think this brush is the right brush. Ah, we have one of these. It's a round brush. So this is the antique Le Glaze from Petite Rouge. I think you can see the color. It's a brown piney color. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we've got a cloth that we can wipe with, and we've got our glaze. And all I want to do is add some definition around my silk paper. You don't need to do this, but we want to do this, okay? So I dip my brush in the glaze and I start working into my edges. Now it is going to touch your silk paper, it's okay. And yeah, it's just going to help with the antique effect. You see what I've done in the corner? So yeah, you can dry the other parts of it too. And I'm going around the edge. Ooh, there's some clay on this. This one? No, this one. So I'm just going around the edge with my antique glaze. It's just going to help. And I can even go over my silk paper if I want to antique it a bit more. So now you can see it's actually quite wet still. Nikki, we can help you with that. You just need to tell us what you want to do, and then I'll tell you which brushes you can use. So now I'm going to use my old rag. And there's two ways of doing this. You can either just wipe and reapply and wipe and reapply, or you can actually dab it. I prefer the dabbing because it blends it in quite nicely on the background. And you see, we've got a bit of a spot.
And then we've got to seal it again.
Yes, then you have to seal it again, but only tomorrow. So the glaze, I would also recommend that you leave for at least 8 hours before you seal it. You can work it into your papers and your items, but leave it that you seal it only tomorrow or the day thereafter, because it also needs to dry and cure. So you can apply as many layers as you want on this. I just like to dab it like that. See? And that contributes to the aginess of the box. And I've gone over my silk papers. Yeah, you can see I've actually gone over the side, so I can just blend it in there. But don't let it dry too much before you work it, because then you'll have that dark mark sitting there. Hoping you guys can see. My aim is out with this camera. There you go. Right, well, so okay. So that one needs
Just
to
want
dry.
to see what it looks like.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the antique glaze from Petite Rouge. This is the antique colors, brownish.
Pass me the cloth.
Judy, some of your brushes you should be able to save. You just need the right cleaner to save it. Alright, so time for the big reveal. Are you ready? I'm not ready. Alright, so which side is now dry? This side. Okay, so here we go. Alright, before we start pulling this off, you better say a prayer, please. I'm going to pull it a bit closer. So here we go. Hope for the best. This thing is it. Won't you hold this top part open for me? Then it's going to be so much easier to pull it off. Alright, one down. So you don't just rip it off, you be careful with it. And you should get a nice straight strap, except there where I didn't seal it properly. It's attached to the leg. Alright, so obviously if you're working on like a laundry bin, something like that, you would get nice straight straps. Okay. And now the last one. Still a bit wet in the corner, eh? So let me just pick it up and show it to you. Just close it, thanks. So, you see, yeah, we had a bit of a spill over. It's because the tape didn't go into this groove. But the rest, oh yeah, and the two. But the rest are fairly good. Quite straight. You can zoom in onto them. So it definitely does help doing the edges with your background color first before you actually go in with the darker color. But as I said, it adds some time because it does take a bit longer to do this. So now we're going to be revealing the back. We must first paint this portion. Let's paint this portion first. And then we can...
pieces you've taken off?
Oh, you want to see? I can your voice. Like
It's
so.
pretty.
Like more. So this little Suitcase is going to become a coffee table. It has been promoted to a coffee table. So if I had to show you what my coffee tables look like, you would have quite a lot. So this is going to be one of our new coffee tables. And I'm now just painting in the darker color. The light green color is absent from Petite Rouge. I've done the edges of the masking tape with the same background color so that we can get straighter lines. Hi Rosie. She's saying hi. And now I'm just going in and I'm painting my back color. I'm using the Midnight in Paris for these lines. And it's absent from Petite Rouge for the green lines. So yeah, you just get your coat of your background color on. And then you let this dry before you start pulling it away. And now this one. Now yeah, you can expect to have some smudging because it's a fold upon a corner there. But still, it still should be looking okay. I'm smudging this. Alright, so this one I'm going to let it dry. And then I'll show you the back one once we start pulling that away. Alright, so let's see where we are. Okay, can you see there? That's where I'm going to start. It's actually stuck to this lid. Alright, so you start pulling away slowly. And you should get quite a nice line. It did have a bit of a boo-boo there. I'll show you now when we go in closer. That one should be okay. Now bear in mind, I told you this is a cardboard box, so it is pulling away some of the paint. I'll just touch it up because nothing has been sealed yet. And there we go. That's quite a nice one. And then now I'll seal it, Michelle, so that they can mess with their coffee if they want to. That's the thing I'll do very last. I'll let it stand overnight before I seal it because it needs to cure within 8 hours. And then I'll seal it. I'll seal this double coats. Alright, so let me show you on the close up. So there you go. I'm going to start on that side. So you see, yeah, on the foot, and I think there a bit, but the rest are fairly straight. So it does work very well. Just to update, this is the top. It's done with aloes and strelitzes. Okay. I am going to be painting these little hinges with some bronze and gold paint later on.
Let's see if that's okay.
It looks pretty, Mama. Okay, so what Mama's done is she's just used the Petite Rouge Le Glaze, the antique one, just to edge it a bit and to give it some character. Have you done this piece as well?
I want to ask you this last piece where your hand is now, where that butterflies are.
I will do in between,
yeah,
yes, because otherwise it doesn't look well.
Yes.
Alright. I'm just taking off the front pieces. Oh, and these parts you need to dry for us, please. Mister. I'm just going to dry the side that is still wet. So you see, if you've got a heat gun or a hair dryer, it actually helps a lot to get it dry much quicker. I've finished with this. that bunny dry yet?
I don't know, just check because it looks as if it's going to rain. I brought the brushes in.
It is raining. So this was the bunny. This week's challenge is bathroom. Yes, I like that. You can also draw for me. That's not so good.
It's raining.
Yeah, this week's challenge is bathroom, the bathroom challenge. So I've taken a bunny, it's a concrete bunny that's in my bathroom. We're going to dolly it with some faux succulents and a little ribbon maybe. So not the bunny. So that's what we're going to do. But I do feel we need to sand it a bit more, just to give it some definition in there. So what we're using is one of these imported items. It's a glorified piece of sandpaper. Don't throw yours away, you can still use it on your crafts. And then we're just going to sand it here and there, just to give it some definition and texture. Is that one dry now?
Oh look, pass me that now, you're walking away with it.
Okay, so
Sure.
this one is now dry. I'm going to take off this last bit. Maybe work from the top downwards. Okay, so now once you've removed all your pieces of your masking tape, oh, we've got some left. Okay, alright. So, just opening it here. And I'm moving from the top down. Slow, don't go ripping it off. And then we go. And then that piece, and this is the last piece. So now I've got my suitcase done in the stripes like I wanted.
You're also going to seal this side.
Yes, Mom. This is my suitcase. This is my top, done with the silk papers from Petite Rouge and the Velvet Attic. I've used the feathering method on top. So you actually go around your silk paper with a brush and a little bit of water, and you edge it, and then you just tear it on that edge, and that gives you that feathery look. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding some of the glaze just to aid it a bit. Now I can paint these white if I want to. I'm not sure yet. I haven't made up my mind yet. But I do want to do the glazing part. I just want to use this. I'm using a round brush. Okay. I just need to get the brush. Sorry, Mom. Excuse. Let me just put this down here. It's quite heavy. I'll turn it for you. No. Alright. So I'm using the antique glaze from Petite Rouge for this. That's a glaze to help you make things look antique and old. And what I actually want to do is just go around my feathered edges with the antiquing. And you see it's actually quite easy to apply. And you can use this to aid your furniture as well. So once you've painted your item, first seal it. If you're not familiar with glaze, first seal it. And then once it's dry, you'll just use your glazing to get definition on your furniture items. I'm just glazing, yeah. This I'll paint another color, so don't Rory, it is a terracotta color at the moment. It will be painted.
I think that's enough.
I think it's nice if you see a bit of the cement coming through. Mama's painted the bunny with parchment from Petit Rouge. And is now just sanding off pieces here and there just to show some distressing. So you see at the moment it looks quite strange, eh? But then once you've applied the pieces of antiquing, then you take your rag and you just work it into the area. So it will give you that nice antique edge that you get with a lot of the papers. I'll bring it closer so that you can see. I remember doing something similar with this type of technique when I was a little girl using coffee and water. So yeah, same principle. So I'm using my rag and I'm just going in and dabbing it here and there, and that's going to give me that antique look that I'm wanting on the edge of my paper. And remember, you would need to have the stand as well before you seal your project. So I normally wait the same amount as for chalk paint, which is 8 hours, before I actually seal it. So that gives the glaze time to dry properly and to cure with your paint.
So it's also going to stand overnight, eh?
Yes. You see? Now we can always go in with some stenciling and some more wording and stuff if we want to. Do you need your ribbon?
No, are we going to seal it still?
Oh yeah.
So
But maybe just let's put a plant in just so that they can see how nice it will look once it's sealed. We've had quite a couple of projects we still need to finish. So as and when we're done with them, we're going to post them on the page so that you guys can have a look. Also remember, this week is the bathroom challenge. So you need to update something in your bathroom and post a picture on the page so that everybody shares in the creativity. Remember to share your projects.
which side is it going to stand in your bathroom? Like
Yeah.
this side to the bottom?
Right side, yeah, just like you have it now. Alright, so now I've etched this. I'm now just taking my rag and I'm dabbing it so that it blends in with my background. And even if it goes over the silk paper, it's okay. It's making it look like old paper in any event with the edging around it. Oh, Ma, you made it so pretty, man.
I think this one is a bit too big.
I think so too. Here we have a couple of smaller ones. Alright, so this is what we've got so far. We've done some air drying clay on the edges. Yeah. And on the other side. And I've gone around with my antique glaze around my silk images. But I still feel we need something more. We either need some stenciling or we need something darker in here so that they can stand out. So maybe you guys can give us some suggestions on this coffee table. What would you add to it, or what would you change?
I would put some of that script on the sides.
On this side.
On All the sides.
Or the
just a
open
little
pieces
bit.
at the top.
Yes.
Yeah, you can always do that, but then the script is not the same. That's what's worrying me.
Oops.
And this is what I've done in this corner now. Hoping you guys can see. Hi, King. So yeah, that's it. So that's how we get straight stripes. If you want to get your own straight stripes, just follow this video again. What do you say? Are they straight enough? So yeah. We just put some feet onto this little one, and it's going to become a coffee table.
And this is what the bunny will look like.
And that's the bunny. I'll take it because it's quite.
Yes.
This is a cement bunny that we did in parchment, and we added some nice succulents, and we tied a ribbon around the neck. So yeah, this is for this week's bathroom challenge. Remember, if you do something in your house, post the pictures on our page so everybody can share in the creative upliftment. There's something else you want to say, Mom? Oh, that's pretty. And this is the silk paper box Mom did. And we did some aging on. So yeah, if you want to inquire about the products we use, I've put it on the page as well. But if there's something you need, just let us know. Share with us your pictures of your upgrades. And let's just sit down because we don't have next anymore. Share with us your projects and post your pictures. And we will be seeing you tomorrow too.
Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.